Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
The Invisible Man.
Let's expose the unseen.
Late one night, a woman named Celia drugs her partner, Adrian, with diazepam and escapes. What?
Just that first line.
Yeah, it's really fucking intense.
Okay, get
and
it, girl.
escapes their heavily secured house. Yeah.
Just
It's like
cameras
a fucking
everywhere.
prison.
Yeah.
For real.
The walls are like, how many feet high? Like
20?
8 feet? 20?
Like,
They're
they're-
not 20.
It feels like 20.
They're
This
like
bitch
8
has
feet
to
high.
fucking
Because she climbed them a little.
serious.
Yeah.
Celia runs out to the road where her sister, Emily, is waiting to pick her up, as Adrian catches up to them and almost stops her escape.
Nah, bitch, run.
I know, right? Until Celia can get her affairs in order, she stays with her friend, James, who also happens to be a police detective,
Wow, look at that. That comes in handy.
and his daughter, Sydney. After a while, Adrian's brother, Tom, who also happens to be a lawyer.
Just so many coincidences
I know.
here.
It's all just a little too much for that. Tells Celia that Adrian has...
Cecilia.
Cecilia?
Have you
Celia?
been calling her Celia?
Celia.
Cecilia.
Cecilia?
Cecilia.
Why do I feel like I must have blocked out her name because my brain cannot remember that
I'm telling
being
you
her
right
name.
now, I thought it was Celia too. And then I went back and I looked and I had to change all of these because it's Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Hold on. Let me triple check.
Like in the movie, like a scene from the movie when someone says her name.
Let me go to cast. Let me just look at her name. Cecilia or C.
And we know that's how it's pronounced, not just like...
Why would it be the C is silent? The C and the I are silent? It's just Celia.
It's fine.
Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yes.
Adrian's brother, Tom, who also happens to be a lawyer, tells Cecilia that Adrian has committed suicide and has left her $5 million.
How terrible.
For real. With a lot of stipulations that are bullshit. Because you know why.
Yep.
Cecilia, trying to get her life back together, decides to go to a job interview for an architect position. When she opens her portfolio to find all of her work is missing. Suddenly she faints and ends up at the hospital, where the doctors tell her that she most likely passed out due to the high levels of diazepam in her system.
What? How'd that get there?
Weird. I mean, for the first fucking part of her being at the house, she was like afraid to fucking step out the effing front door.
She was, but honestly,
Once she found out that he was quote, quote, dead,
right.
that's the only time she became comfortable.
But I don't think she really ever did get comfortable.
No. She may have gotten hopeful,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
that shit did not last.
Cecilia makes it back to the house, where she discovers the same bloodied bottle of diazepam she used to drug Adrian. What? Which she had lost right on her bathroom counter.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't lose it on her bathroom counter. I'm saying it showed up there after she lost it. Cecilia now suspects that something is amiss, as she goes with James to meet with Tom and explain how she believes that Adrian is actually still alive. Even after her explanation, neither of them believe Cecilia and chalk her conspiracies up to distress.
Of course.
Right. She's just a crazy woman. Back at the house, Cecilia and Sydney start to plan a girls' day when a mysterious force hits Sydney in the face.
I'm not going to lie to you. In that scene, there's a small part of me that's like, all right, Sydney, you know you did not see her swing at you.
Literally.
Like, you know you were looking at her and did not see her swing at you.
The other part of that was like she seemed like they literally just had a moment and they were bonding over how they were going to have a girls'
why would
day.
she then proceed to
yeah.
fucking swing at your ass?
However, I do understand if you live in a world where supernatural things don't occur and things like that don't happen, your brain's gonna go to the only
it's gonna
rational
explain
thing.
it away. But still, you know, just the timing of it is very strange.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway. James and Sydney both leave, super angry,
Great.
believing Cecilia was the one who smacked her. While alone in the house, Cecilia senses something and decides to check the attic. Because she hears buzzing up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where she finds...
Oh, no. She calls his
phone and hears the buzzing
and hears
up
the
there.
buzzing from the attic.
Yeah. Where she finds Adrian's phone with pictures of her sleeping.
So creepy.
With a text that pops up reading, "Surprise."
Fucking creepy. Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. Thinking fast, before going back downstairs, Cecilia dumps a bucket of white paint down the ladder, covering an invisible man.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yo, truly,
Meta.
actually fucking terrifying.
So scary.
This bitch was staring him in the face.
Like, literally, they were inches apart.
He was right there. He was right there.
Yeah.
There was no hiding that one.
That was so terrifying.
I was like, fuck that nonsense.
because you don't see him at all until she just douses him, and
Yeah.
he's literally right there. And like the music they use was just like, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
truly
okay.
terrifying. You were not expecting him, especially for him to be that close.
Yeah.
The man washes the paint off before Cecilia can get downstairs, allowing him to sneak up and attack her, hitting her, choking her, and dragging her across the floor. Cecilia manages to escape and has an Uber take her to Adrian's house, where she discovers an optic suit that allows the person wearing it to blend into their surroundings and turn completely invisible.
And this is where we were like, girl, whip out your phone
And start recording.
right the fuck now and just film that shit.
Because he is a member of like a technical intelligence
Yeah.
in the government.
If you couldn't tell, he's got buku money.
Yeah.
The house she's escaping from is so bougie.
Yeah.
That's how, like, and
Yeah.
obviously that's why the security systems are so hot. Like,
Yeah, because he has the capabilities of messing with technology on a severely deep level because of his capabilities and his education.
facts.
Cecilia is able to hide the suit in the closet before the invisible man attacks again.
What was he doing?
Because it's his second
Hiding
suit.
on the roof?
Because he has two suits.
Yeah.
She hid one of his suits, so he only has access to one of them
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
The one that he's wearing.
Yeah. But what'd he do? Like, climb on the roof of the Uber
Maybe.
and just hitched a ride?
Well, I don't think he did, because if he did, he would have
seen
her take
Yeah.
it. So I think he arrived there on his own,
Yeah.
separately, like knowing that's probably where she's going.
It's just, where was his car after that?
This is a man who has two invisible suits.
You think he has
You
an
don't
invisible...
Not an invisible car. I'm saying like secret entrances to park his cars. Because I'm sorry, at what point has there
immediately went to invisible car?
No, my
Like, it's-
brain went to a secret entrance to park
my
his
God.
cars
Like,
that she
this is
has no
fucking-
access to.
Like, this is fucking Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
For real. This bitch is in Bikini Bottom over here.
Too good.
But she is able to escape again. Now having proof, Cecilia contacts Emily and asks to meet her at a restaurant so she can explain everything that has happened.
You remember the sister from the beginning that literally doesn't show up again? I mean, okay, she shows up one more time.
Well, here's the thing. At this point in the film, a email was sent from Cecilia's email to her sister, basically be like, fuck you. Even though Cecilia is the same person who requested her sister's help in getting her out.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I would not have believed that email.
Yeah, no.
Not for a fucking second.
Nope.
Anyway.
Like, if it were
Like,
the
her
two of
sister
us,
was way too easy at
if it
being
were the two
convinced.
of us, and you knew that I was in a manipulative, abusive, toxic ass relationship
That
and asked
I
for your
had
help,
to fucking help
physically
you
come get me out of,
remove you from.
I find out he's dead, and all of a sudden you get an email saying you're
Some shitty shit,
you're
and
so
you're
annoying,
scared that
like-
he's still alive. Fuck that nonsense. I would never believe that email.
Right.
Not even for a fucking second.
No.
Sorry. It just wouldn't happen.
Anyway,
Especially if you are the person. I would never shit on the person who saved me from a fucking dangerous position. Who was
No.
like there to pick me up and get me
No.
out. Like, you are my savior. I owe you my life
Mm-hmm.
at that point.
literally.
Like, for real.
Ugh. Okay.
At first, Emily is skeptical until she sees a floating knife right beside her, which then slits her throat.
So she got her comeuppance, I guess.
For real. The invisible man has killed her and placed the knife in Cecilia's hand, framing her for her sister's murder. Yo, and that
Which
shit was
is
fast.
fucking so quick.
Because the sister looks at her like she believes her.
Like, immediately, she's like, "Oh my god, I see it. I know."
And
like,
then-
he's here,
Schwunk.
Dead.
And then immediate boom, right in the hand.
right in the hand.
Literally slit throat straight to hand.
Yep.
It,
Right in the restaurant.
right in the middle of the fucking restaurant.
Mm.
It was that's a very visceral scene for that one.
Yeah, it's like that's one of those scenes that kind of just lives in my head.
Gotcha.
Like, and it's not because I want it there. It's just because it's one of the most like
'Cause it's
shocking
yeah.
things I've ever seen in
Oh yeah.
cinema, personally, other than Hereditary. Hello.
Yeah.
But
No one will ever forget Piano Wire.
I was just talking about the first 20 minutes of the film. Like,
Oh,
head right off.
I'm thinking of like the last little bit.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah.
No, because it's like at that point, like, you don't really know what's going to happen until he, like, literally just. I'm like, oh, is he going to get her to the hospital? Oh!
Oh no.
Oh! Like, I literally had to step away from. We've already talked about this, but, you know.
Yeah.
Go watch the
Go check
episode.
our Hereditary.
All right. Cecilia is immediately placed into a mental institution because
Yep.
she's screaming, "He's still alive! It was him! It wasn't me!"
Yep.
Yeah. Where the doctors tell her that she is pregnant with Adrian's baby.
Oh, mother of I would have lost my goddamn mind.
Because she was taking birth control, but no, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Because he was fucking with it. Tom meets with her again to say all charges would be dropped from her sister's murder if she agreed to return to Adrian and raise their child together. Aww.
Yeah, and this is because quote he appeared alive again.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
We haven't gotten there yet.
No.
But clearly, like, Tom knows some
because
shit.
Tom came to her secretly and was like, "Listen, all charges will be dropped. You just gotta go back to him."
Yeah.
Like on the DL.
Yeah, Tom knows Adrian is still alive.
Yeah.
And immediately, like, you are aware he's still alive.
And she knows he's in the room.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
he's in the suit in the room.
He's in the fucking room standing
And
there.
probably has been in every single fucking scene.
Oh, yeah. Almost a guarantee.
Ugh, the camera work in this is
It's
just so
very
good.
good.
I know
Very
you're
good.
gonna get into it.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Cecilia turns down the offer because she's a smart woman
Mm-hmm.
and manages to steal one of Tom's pens, which she later uses to try and kill herself. Maybe not so smart with that.
Well, because she
But
knows what
is.
she's doing.
She does know what she's doing. She pretends to try and kill herself.
Yeah.
The invisible man tries to stop Cecilia, who then stabs him multiple times, causing the suit to falter.
Yup.
The cops arrive due to all of the commotion, but the invisible man stops them all.
For real.
All of them. Before heading to James's house to kill... Hold on, wait. Hold. Causing the suit to falter. And let me tell you, have you seen the newest, like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
His like arch nemesis, like the guy who went into the multiverse, but like has a whole bunch of like
Yeah.
spots within him
The
and whatever.
dork.
That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like as he's fading in and out of reality.
Yeah.
But it's not reality, it's just his suit is fucking up.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so similar to that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Anyway, the cops arrive due to all of the commotion, but the Invisible Man stops them all before heading to James' house to kill him and Sydney.
But I'm also not gonna lie, every single time one of those fucking cops came in, they immediately were trying to blame her.
Yep.
And then saw the suit and then were died.
Yeah.
And then the next group would come in and be like, what the fuck did you do? And then
see
they
the
would
suit,
see the suit and then it would
dead.
and then every subsequent motherfucking set of cops that came across them, crossed her in this situation, same situation.
Yep. Every single one.
All these
Thought it was her
motherfuckers
first.
died.
Yeah. Cecilia finally arrives to save them both by shooting the Invisible Man, who turned out to be Tom.
Yeah.
At what point they switched, I don't know.
I would assume they switched right after she escaped.
That's what I was thinking too.
That is 100% when they, I believe 100%
Because I think it was him in the room with her when she like was trying to kill herself, and
I
I think it was
believe
him
it was
killing
still
all those
him
cops.
killing all the cops. Yeah.
But yeah.
You know he wanted to get back at Tom for his shit that he said earlier.
Oh yeah, I'd be
Being
like, I
like, fuck
fucking
him.
hated my brother.
Yeah.
He's awful. I'm glad
yeah.
he's dead. Like he didn't say that, but
Essentially.
implied.
Yeah.
But I think Tom knew at that point that he was still. I think Tom was in it the entire time. I just think he
Tom
said
was
that in
involved
order
the whole
to.
time. I just think that
Because
Adrian
maybe he didn't
convinced
know
him
he
to
was in the
swap
room
spots.
at that point either, or maybe he did and it was just for the ruse. There's so many ways it could be.
After Tom's death, the police find Adrian alive, tied up in his house, and chalk all of the crimes, including Emily's death, to Tom. But Cecilia's not convinced. Well, no shit, because also you have to think, like, this is an easy way for, quote, quote, Adrian to try to gaslight her and convince her, like, okay, I put it all on my brother. You can come back now.
Yep.
In an attempt to get Adrian to confess, she agrees to have dinner with him while wearing a wire. In a roundabout way, without actually confessing to anything, Adrian says, surprise. Cecilia excuses herself from the table when security cameras capture Adrian killing himself.
What?
James comes to see for himself what had happened when Cecilia comes out of the house with a bag carrying the suit she had hidden in the closet. James says nothing as he lets Cecilia leave. The end. That is the actual best fucking ending in regards to, like, you're in a horrifically dangerously super mega dangerous abusive situation with a person.
Yep.
Yeah, fucker, don't make an invisible suit and don't make two of them. Otherwise, I'll take the second one and good luck.
Right.
Because the thing is she also stepped right out of view of his security cameras. So, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Because she knows where all of them are.
Yup. She's been practicing how to escape for years.
Yep.
Alrighty. This movie was released February 24th, 2020.
What a great Valentine's Day movie to go see. Obviously, it came out a little later
February
than that.
24th. Yeah.
But still, like, in February. What a great...
Yeah. The director is Lee Whannell, distributed by Universal Pictures. I have their box office. What was their budget?
Their budget was $7 million.
Oh, so not bad. 144.5 million was their budget.
Yeah, it was
not
just-
budget, box office.
Yeah, their box office. No bad. This movie was actually on the longer side, which it doesn't feel like that when you're watching it
Yeah.
because it's so action packed.
Yeah, it's very It's very quick,
But it's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
which is shocking.
And then I absolutely agree with this Rotten Tomatoes score, 92%.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Yes. And then the kill count is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Emily, you've got Tom, you've got all of those cops, and
Yeah.
then you've got Adrian at the end.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yep.
Alrighty. Our lovely cast.
Yes. Elizabeth Moss as Cecilia. She's also very big in The Handmaid's Tale, which I've yet to watch. I need to. Aldous Hodge as James. Storm Reed as Sydney. She's in Euphoria and also The Last of Us and a whole bunch of other stuff. She's just so good, on the come up. Oliver Jackson Cohen as Adrian, who is also lovely man in the Hill House miniseries, and is also like other characters within those different miniseries.
Those motherfuckers are all highly connected.
Yes. You've got Michael Dorman as Tom, and then Harriet Dyer as Emily.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop. We're just getting comfy over here.
All right. Do you want to go first? Me go first?
Those are some thick notes.
It's not a whole lot, to be honest.
Go ahead.
All right. So in this movie, we have a couple good fight scenes that happen. Especially the big one, I would consider one of the big ones, is after they've left and she goes looking around the house.
Yes, I need to know.
So, when it comes to on-screen fights, the person who sells the fight is obviously the person who's getting hit.
Was this just a man in like a green screen suit?
If you don't believe the hits that happen, you don't believe the damage is done.
Yeah.
And you don't believe the dynamics. So you have to be really in sync. And when you're working with a partner, there's a little bit of extra room to lean on.
I feel like people take for granted when things are done well, because like when it's, especially in fight scenes, because when fight scenes are done well and you can't really tell that there's not like these people, you're like, yeah, those people are hitting each other. But then you go and you watch a thing where like they're in a fight, but it's not coordinated. You don't really believe anybody's hitting anybody. The punches are off, and you're just sitting there cringing. And then like, I don't know, because when I watch fight scenes, I kind of zone out a little bit. Just because at a certain point, it's like, okay.
What did you think of the fight scenes in this movie?
In this movie? Fucking incredible, because she's fighting an invisible person.
Oh, just wait. When it comes to working by yourself, it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
If the fight sucks, it's your fault. Yes. You are hearing me correctly.
She did it all by herself?
There is no green screen combatant in The Invisible Man.
Literally what I just said.
No hidden sparring partner who could be edited out later behind
I'm
the scenes.
so lost.
Yep. So essentially,
what about when she's being dragged across the floor?
When it comes to it, they ask how agile and athletic they are, because obviously you're going to have to beat yourself up.
Go Elizabeth.
Like I said, she wasn't fighting someone in a green suit. It was her throwing herself around.
That's insane.
Tussling with the literal thin air.
She picked a fight with the fucking hair.
For real. And here's the thing. It's a very nuanced fighting art. One that could easily have ushered the Invisible Man most crucial action sequences far beyond the line of believable horror and into the laughable sketch realm of unintentional physical comedy. But Whannell's prior action work on Upgrade paid off with refinements that carried over to The Invisible Man, with the twist, of course, that the invisible part of the fight equation, in this case at least, was actually true, even behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Everything leading up to it was a lot of training with the stunt teams. They were working with the same stunt team that 1L had on Upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
So
if
they
you've
all knew
seen
how to
that,
work each other.
then
work
you
with each other
already know their work is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rig that they put the camera on is a rig they've built that's special to Lee and what he's doing in regards to this.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty wild. So this necessitate, if I can even English that word, this necessitated the staging of scenes with actors to appear as if they were fighting against nothing, while also giving rise to moments where the suit glitches or is revealed by water, smoke, and at one point even paint.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, such scenes were executed via stunt performances, costume effects, on-set special effects, motion control, CG animation, and other visual effects work. So the VFX was led by Cutting Edge, overseen by visual effects supervisor Jonathan Deering, who had collaborated with director Lee 1L previously on Upgrade. For The Invisible Man, Lee really wanted to have the audience always seeking where Adrian is, with long, wide shots where the audience would feel like someone else was in the room.
So good.
With a composition on Cecilia on one edge, making us wonder what else was filling this other space.
Yeah.
So that didn't involve any effects, but they did it quickly. They did quickly expand into VFX when he fights and hits people and he grab him.
Yeah.
It's not a magic suit. It's built out of technology.
Yep.
So it has to react in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So both Lee and DOP Steph Duccio brought up motion control at an early meeting, and that's what they were going to suggest too for Deering's team. It just enables you to get a clean plate and repair any changes in between takes, especially since they were staging a number of fight moments. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a big guy in a green suit walking around interacting with talent, he's going to be covering a lot of the background. So how do you recreate that background? You either lock the camera or you recreate the move. So Cutting Edge then had to deal with the meticulous task of like painting out any part of the mocap rig or the green screen performer in frame, as well as wires and extraneous details. So one of the toughest things was that Cecilia is wearing a jumper, her outfit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hardest things to patch back on. They actually ended up using a CG jumper for most of the full-on interactive moments, as well as CG hands or CG feet whenever they were blocked by the green. So sometimes her hands and her feet were CGI.
Wouldn't even know.
And her clothing, her outfit. Not even a moment.
Movie magic is so good.
For real. Because the truth of the matter is the suit was a practical costume.
And this is where you go. We're going to say it every time. Where CG helps the effect.
Yes. Instead of using it as a crutch. So the suit, like I said, was a practical costume made by Odd Studio that was also built in CGI by Cutting Edge. Its design was a conglomeration of input from several key creative forces on the show. 1L, production designer Alex Holmes, costume designer Emily Sarson, Odd Studios Adam Johnson and Damian Martin, and obviously Deering as well. Mm-hmm. Lee wanted something that was really minimalistic. The tech was all within and concealed.
Yeah.
and it just looked like something no one had ever seen before.
Yeah, it was clean.
They had a meeting where they all pulled out references. Quite quickly, Lee's eyes went to a very sleek figure hugging black wetsuit style.
Yeah.
And imagery of close-up hexagon-like cell technology was on the table too.
Yeah.
Odd Studios was brought on board and immediately began building a 3D model of the cell structure that would house the suit's camera lenses. This was something that could also be 3D printed, as they quickly built up different parts of the practical suit. So at an early fitting, Deering photographed the suit with both his iPad and DSLR, and then brought that imagery back to Cutting Edge for the CG department to begin their digital build. So they were working in parallel with Odd Studios, who were a week or two in front of them, and they actually gave them a 3D print of each of the cells. So they had to add on the actual lens mechanisms underneath the suit in terms of the mechanical moving parts of it. So once they had the basic shape and pattern, that was it pretty much. Like,
That's so crazy.
I think it's cool that it is actually also a physical fucking suit at the same time.
Right.
Because it's a wild contraption.
It is.
It is an absolutely wild piece of machinery that honestly, for real, does not feel like imaginary.
No.
Like, it feels highly possible in this day and age.
And girl, we'll talk about it.
So
We're going to talk about it.
we're going to talk about it right now.
Oh, that was it?
Because that was on my notes.
That actually was very short. Okay. So.
Yeah. A lot of it was more like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, The Invisible Man.
Yes.
Inspired by H.G. Wells' novel of the same name,
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man, from
Yes.
1897.
Because it's not... Is this the one that I'm thinking of, like, The Invisible Man that I'm thinking of wrapped in shit? Wrapped in fabric?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
This is the one that we see in, like, when we go to Universal.
Yeah.
It's that.
Because it's
the
a
classic.
It's a universal
Yeah.
monster.
But we're gonna in the spooky new land. We're gonna have the actual Invisible Man.
Yes, we are. Okay.
All of this is a very cool concept
Yeah,
for the
because
Invisible Man.
the novel is about a chemist who creates a potion that makes him invisible, and then uses that for criminal acts.
Yup.
And it's also treated as well in the film, because the first Invisible Man film was 1933.
Yeah.
Because this is Universal, and they created lots of monsters, brought them to life.
Oh yeah.
But in the movie, it's treated more as like an affliction. So it's like,
Yes.
It's not-
kind of Jekyll and Hyde is how I would kind of maybe see it, because even in Jekyll and Hyde, it's that he drank a thing that then caused this
Yeah.
alter side of
Yeah,
him to come out.
Mhm,
Yeah.
for sure. So this film is kind of like a reboot of the 1933 film. But it's the 7th installment of a franchise. There's a whole Invisible Man franchise. There's so
there's
many
a
movies.
lot of Invisible Man movies.
7 to be exact. We just told you what the story is about this one.
We'll have to do the original. We're gonna have to do a whole like
Yeah.
season of black and white original
Yes.
monsters.
Need to.
Fuck yeah. Yes.
Yes.
On the docket.
Next year?
Fuck yeah.
All right. So the 2020 film is different from the previous adaptations because obviously this guy uses high-tech suit instead of scientific accident.
Hmm.
And obviously,
This motherfucker intentionally makes this goddamn suit to stalk his girlfriend.
yeah, it's literally explores themes of domestic abuse, gaslighting, and fear.
Literally builds this suit so if in case he can stalk her
Yep.
and terrorize her. This woman is losing her motherfucking mind in this movie.
She really is. It's fascinating.
It
to
is
watch.
it is a visceral look into what it looks like to see someone going insane.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like saying
with no
that-
one believing her.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that she was crazy from the beginning, but it's like, no, you can see the buildup of like her panic trying to escape, and then her PTSD from like having to live and be with somebody that was so fucking toxic,
Mm-hmm.
and her trying to come out of that but not being able to because there's like this looming
Yeah. It's
presence.
it's a visceral visual of what it's like to lose your mind, but it's also a really real visceral look into what it is like for someone who is in an abusive relationship
Yeah.
and what it can be like if the people around them don't believe them.
What's great is that Universal and Blumhouse actually suggested this idea to 1L
Mm-hmm.
in a meeting, so that like, so I think it's nice that while they're getting money and views off of these things, like
Yeah.
it's still showcasing and telling a story about what abuse does
To a person, yeah.
to a person and their mind and their
And the
sanity.
lengths that they would go to escape said
Yeah.
abuse.
I mean, some people
and the lengths that the abusers could go to
to
keep their person.
yeah. I mean, obviously, this is like on a
This
very
is an
extreme level.
version. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. A lot of bad things have happened to
Yeah.
people who have been in abusive relationships.
For
a lot
sure.
of like powerful people have done some really dark shit to
Oh, yeah.
some people who did
Oh,
not
yeah.
deserve it. So yeah. It's kind of in that vein.
So invisibility itself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into that.
A lot of us wish we had it every once in a while.
Oh, for sure.
For facts.
Like, I think it's what I tell people.
I'm
when
always
people are
stuck
like,
between
what superpower do you want?
I'm always stuck between flying, teleporting, and invisibility.
Because personally,
Or time control. Like
I wouldn't want
those four I think would be pretty cool. Like
that. I
I'm
know
saying, like,
you
to
would want
pause
that.
time.
I know you would want that.
Like to pause
You
time.
would sit there
you know?
for hours in just one moment. You really would.
Oh, if I could go invisible, freeze time, teleport. Good luck. You
Oh
would
my goodness,
you
yeah.
would not survive me.
I think I'd probably also say teleportation, just because you could be anywhere you want.
It
But
would
if you
make
were
travel
invisible-
so much easier.
But here's the thing.
But I also like
If
the
you
idea of having
needed-
wings.
Here's the
Come
thing.
on.
If you needed money, you can't just teleport into a bank because those bitches have security cameras. You see what I mean? So if
That's
you
why
have
you just
invisibility,
stop time. But if I have the ability to stop time, ain't no camera catching me.
yeah, but then how can you travel to different places? I feel like this is where it's like, this is where I'm like, I need rogue superpowers where I can just touch other people with
Yes.
superpowers and collect it. But that means other people need to have superpowers, so you're
Yes.
stuck there as well.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know. We could go on a whole tangent rabbit hole about that, but
Unfortunately, you need the mutant universe in order to be a rogue.
yes, yeah.
Because if
You can't be the sole
Rogue.
person with superpower.
no, otherwise rogue is useless.
It's so useless.
She's just a person.
Yep. Unless you could like take abilities
Yo, that would be a functional one. Like tap a CEO or tap a like
And you have, like,
construction
all of
worker,
their,
and you have,
like,
you gain
knowledge.
strength. Or,
Yeah. You gain strength.
Which I
or
would
photographic memory.
I
or-
would tap a gymnast and be like, "Ha, my back is beautiful.
Yeah.
My legs are fantastic. I'm good to go."
or like a sixth sense, like having.
oh, for real.
Oh yeah. Which, haha.
Haha. Anyway,
Okay.
if that wasn't the most awkward obviousness ever. Anyway.
Okay.
How dare us?
Stop it. Get out my head. All right. So I have a few categories here.
Mhm.
So first, invisibility. I'm going to talk about the mythological
Yes.
histories
Yes. It's deep.
of invisibility.
Yes.
And it all starts with the cap of invisibility.
Yes.
So basically,
Can't believe it's called a fucking cap of invisibility.
cap of invisibility.
Why isn't it like a helm? Sounds so much more
Right.
badass.
Right? I don't know.
Or,
All right.
Well, we all know the cloak of invisibility, but you know, whatever.
So, there's an ancient source called the Bibliotheca
Mm-hmm.
that states that Hades obtained this helmet
Yes.
so that he could fight successfully in the Titanomachy.
Yes.
So this goes back to like one of the earliest Greek myths.
Percy retrieves it and
Hold on, we'll get
Jackson's,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So, basically, the Titanomachy, however you want to say it. This was a major war fought between different groups of Greek gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
Where all three of the main brothers, so Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon,
Yes.
they each got their own weapon from an ancient blacksmith that was part of the race of giants called the Cyclops.
Yes.
As we know. If you don't know, read a fucking book.
Yeah.
So Zeus got his lightning bolt.
Yes.
Poseidon got his trident.
Yes.
And Hades got this helmet. So these
which is perfect for Hades, for real.
Yeah.
Since he's like the epitome of death.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yep. So these weapons were given to them as a reward from the Cyclops after the three brothers freed the creatures from Tartarus.
Yes.
Yeah. So after these items were crafted, they could only be held and used by gods. So obviously Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades were more than willing to accept them because it helped them in their war with the Titans.
Yeah.
So obviously the god of darkness and the underworld wore the helmet to become invisible and enter the camp of the Titans.
Fuck yeah.
While he was invisible, he destroyed all of the Titan weapons.
Hell yeah.
And their armaments. So without their weapons, obviously the Titans lost their ability to fight, and the battle ended like immediately.
Yeah.
So Hades is technically like the hero of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
and dude just gets shit on.
Just shit on constantly. All the time. And he saved. Oh my god.
He literally helped. He did the major part of ending the war.
Yeah. So this cap of invisibility, its uses are to turn invisible. That's basically what it is. So, but this cap of invisibility has been used by so many gods and goddesses like afterwards.
Yeah.
There's Hermes in the Gigantochemy, which was the war between gods and giants.
Yes.
There's Athena during the Trojan War.
Yeah.
And then Perseus when he was slaying Medusa.
Yes.
So, but if you want to read more about that, you can get into it.
And then in the Percy Jackson trilogy, it's Ares.
Yeah.
Using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Right.
Watch the show. Read the books.
But yeah, so much lore into the mythology about this cap of invisibility.
Yeah.
And it's one of like the first written things about invisibility when it comes to Greek mythology.
Yes. Kind of the origin. Well, okay. The origin, at least that I know, unfortunately, I do not have the fullest grasp of all of the invisible objects all over the world in every cultural background.
There's so much.
But for me, at least, my first initial known touchstone of an ancient relic that birthed the idea of an invisible, a thing that allows invisibility that you wear.
Oh, the cap of invisibility. Yeah. Yeah.
My other one is the most obvious one that I know.
Harry Potter. Cloak of invisibility.
My body's gone. That's a cloak of invisibility. How'd you get one of them?
Oh my god.
Too
good. I think it's from Dumbledore.
It's fucking great.
Oh my god. All right, so
and then all the shenaniganeries and all of the theories as to how that thing works,
literally,
is wild.
Yeah,
especially in association with his family. There's a lot of lore associated with that. Which means he's
like literally part of the three brothers.
Yes,
like those are his ancestors. Yes. Like, are you kidding?
And the theory, like, I know that the Three Brothers Grimm story, like that story, is supposed to be like them against death, but the bigger theory is that they were just so magically adept that they literally created those objects each themselves.
Yeah.
And obviously Peveril, you know, that's the one that is Harry's descendant, and he's the one who had the fucking cloak and made the cloak. And the idea that it is only people of that descent that can even use the cloak, which is the reason why Voldemort could not find him, is the only reason. Even with him crying as a baby, he became the owner of the cloak in that moment. The second his father died, he became the owner of the cloak, which is why Voldemort could not find him, even though he was an infant crying underneath the blanket. He could not hear him. He could not perceive him in any form or fashion.
That's nuts.
Because once his father passed away, the cloak basically was like, okay, you're my new owner.
That's so fucking sad. I'm guessing you got this from Hey Brothers.
Yes. The Super Color Brothers, where I live my life listening to all of their stuff, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
they do a lot of good work.
I will say, I don't think I've ever seen a pair of people dive into any franchise the
There
way
are
that they have with Harry Potter.
several books in the Harry Potter franchise, if you weren't aware.
Yeah.
Multiple movies. They can just do quizzes where they have to pull it out of their head. And they just know it.
Like the most random, the most like when's this character's birthday? Like a random fucking character that's only mentioned.
How much was the bet?
Yeah.
Fucking, what's the spell to remove gum?
Yeah.
It's Waddy Wassy
Yeah.
from Underbenches.
Yep.
There's so much random shit that you would not know.
Mm-hmm.
So much random shit.
Yep.
But there's also theories and lore and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
they just
very
go right
fascinating.
into it.
Because they do a whole deep dive about like why did they not just use the cloak on all of them to keep them all alive? And it was a moment where it was like, well, the father passed away, so the mom just threw it over Harry in her last ditch effort. And because of that generational thing, like if his father had not died, Harry is not the owner of the cloak. It wouldn't have done anything. It has to be passed down. So when his father
why
died,
didn't they all just use the cloak?
they go into it, but
I'm sure.
it's definitely fascinating
Yeah, for sure.
to think about it.
Whew. Yeah, so that also ties in with like the more magical, mystical
Yeah.
elements of invisibility.
Especially also the idea that which also just brings the magical concept of Dumbledore even to a higher state of like, what the fuck, this man? Because he can perceive Harry under the cloak because he is also a holder of a deathly object. That's why in that one scene in Hagrid's hut, he's able to look at him as he's saying something.
Yep.
Because he is a holder of the Elder Wand.
So... Oh, because it was never Voldemort, so that means he wouldn't have been.
Well, this is before all of that.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying like even when Voldemort thought the wand was his, he wouldn't have been able to.
No, because it was Draco's.
Yeah.
And then Harry just ripped Draco's wand out of his hand.
Yep.
And so therefore it was Harry's.
His. So he had all three of the motherfuckers.
He killed Snape for nuffins.
Don't even get me started.
For Newfins.
Don't even get me started.
For Newfins. All because Draco went Expelliarmus.
Yep.
All because Draco made him lose his wand. He made him it was him who is Elder Wand holder. Fucking Voldemort never figured that out. How? To begin with, question mark.
Because he's fucking
How'd you
stupid.
not realize that?
Because I'm a Voldemort hater, and I don't care what
We
y'all
all
bitches
are.
say about Tom Riddle being all, oh, he's so fucking sexy and I want him.
I'm sorry.
You're
Did you not
stupid.
hear him laugh? I'm sorry. Can we replay that
They're
moment?
not talking about Voldemort himself. They're talking about Tom Riddle because he's like, back in the Chamber of Secrets.
Well, yeah, if he wasn't a dark dickhead, yeah, he'd be fine.
No,
But,
because
like,
they're saying they want him as a dark dickhead. And I'm like, you're an idiot.
He's
Because
a
if you
fucking
think he
psycho.
wouldn't kill you,
She was literally an accident, but he had no choice but to put her in the fucking put the Horcrux in the fucking journal because that was
Yeah.
an accident.
yeah.
That Horcrux was never supposed to exist.
Anyway, we're getting so
off
fucking
off topic.
This is
oh
about
my
the cloak
god.
of invisibility.
The cloak of invisibility. which was passed down and has been seen as an object of death, as in it was cut from death's cloak. So it gives him the ability to, you know, it put him on a level playing field so death, you know, couldn't take him before his time.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of shenanigans and a lot of secret movings happened.
So I guess 4 categories, because that was the mystical magical one. Here's the folklore.
Ooh, yes.
Around invisibility.
Okay.
So I have a couple things here. So the first one is from Welsh mythology. And it's described, so it's the mantle of invisibility.
Yes.
Which I think is where the cloak of invisibility comes from, because it is a magical cloak.
Yeah.
It described in a tale called Colwick and Olwen from around 1100.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that was BC or
just 1100.
it
We'll
just says
leave it at
1100.
that.
So take that with what you will.
Yeah, yeah.
So in this story, the mantle is one of King Arthur.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there you go. So King Arthur's most valued possessions, and is said to make anyone beneath it invisible while still allowing them to see out. So literally the cloak of invisibility.
Yeah.
So the mantle is also mentioned in, I guess, another story, in the dream of Rhonabwy in the early 13th century, and in the second branch of the Mabinogi, where Caswallon uses it to kill Bran the Blessed stewards and take the throne. So lots of
hard to pronounce motherfucking names.
yeah. So that's the Welsh mythology part, and then we also have a counterpart in Japan.
Yeah.
Called the Kakorimino.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which is a magical straw cape or raincoat of invisibility. And this tale comes from the Peach Boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I gotcha.
So, one of the treasures the hero collects is from an ogre, and it's this cape of invisibility.
Yeah.
Which parallels like Jack the Giant Slayer.
Gotcha.
So these are both stories that you could go read up on, and you know, if you want to do your research. Lots of things.
Because it also reminds me of
but I don't want to get into it too much.
The book I had read called On a Pale Horse.
Yeah.
Where it's basically from this viewpoint of death. Who basically, this guy takes on the mantle of death. And literally, the mantle of death, the cloak of death, makes him invisible to others who are not on the brink of death. Like, he only just barely becomes visible if he allows his presence to be seen by those that are coming close to death.
I feel like
otherwise he's invisible to the regular eye.
I obviously haven't read like the folklore stories, but I feel like even going off of the Greek mythology version, like it is very much like Hades is the god of the underworld, so death and, you know, lost souls, and
like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
and all
Grim
that kind
Reaper.
of stuff.
So I'm betting you, like, if you went into the folklore stories and like went into that, it also probably has a lot of death motifs and themes,
almost a guarantee.
Just because, you know, usually when you talk about invisibility, it is about like escaping death and
or the spirit world and things like that.
Yeah,
you know.
But not in this movie.
No.
That is just a totally other thing. But this is more just the background of invisibility and where it comes from, and usually where you see these themes used. So Universal kind of really took its own spin on it and used it for more of like a monster, like, to do evil.
They did a very interesting thing with it.
And
like I said, it's got that strong Jekyll and Hyde, you know,
for sure.
Drink a potion, you fucked up.
Yeah.
They had a lot of scientists, which I think is very fascinating.
How do you keep doing that? Every time we talk about something and I'm finished, you then mention something about something I'm going to talk about next.
Oh, well, I'm talking about, like, you know, the Universal monsters. A lot of them
are very
like
sciencey.
Frankenstein. Yeah. They've got a lot of, like, Jekyll and Hyde. It's Dr. Jekyll
and Mr. Hyde.
and
yeah.
Mr. Hyde, and it's
then, yeah,
the Invisible Man is a scientist. Like
Frankenstein, like
the Frankenstein's monster. It's literally Frankenstein is a scientist. Like they do have a lot of like
they do.
scientific
Yeah, the only ones that are not
creations.
like obviously you got the Mummy and Dracula
and Wolfman. All of
Yeah.
those are not, but that's like 3 of them.
3.
Because even the
that's
Bride
funny,
of
'cause those are-
Frankenstein is also still
Ooh.
a scientific
So do you think
creature.
Thinking about it, so they had a house with Dracula, the Mummy, and Wolfman. Do you think that because those are all like more magical, mythological creatures? Do you think
Yes.
they would do one with more like sciencey type, with Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Frankenstein, and the
That would
Invisible
be
Man?
very cool.
And they could make it all sciencey and potiony and shit.
Well, do you remember what the new ride in Epic's
Yes.
going to be?
Yes, I do.
And who the main protagonist, quote, quote, antagonist is of the said ride?
I do.
And that it is set in Frankenstein Manor.
Yes, I do.
So that's going to be a heavy one.
So yeah, they'll probably do something with that.
I just like the
Housewives next
fact
year.
that this year's HHN has
Do you think they're gonna
Dracula's
keep it?
daughter, Frankenstein,
Yeah.
the Bride of Frankenstein, and Van Helsing's daughter.
Yeah. Do you think they would ever move HHN to
I
Epic?
could see it. It would give them a lot of space.
It would.
to do it.
Yeah. So more people coming in. Oh, that would make the lines so much worse. They would have to add more houses, to be honest.
You don't think that? No shit, they would add way more houses.
They would need to. They literally would need to.
They could make as many houses. They could make 20 houses if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could make twice as many, literally.
For real.
Anyway, going back to the science.
Yes.
All right, so there's a book called Invisibility: The History and Science of How Not to Be Seen.
Hi to all our introverts.
Yeah, and it's written to this guy who like wrote this article that I'm about to go over.
Yeah.
But he recommends going to read his book. So Invisibility, obviously very long history in physics.
Mm.
That's what it has. Why do I
Yeah.
keep saying obviously as if you guys know? So the first real hints of it appeared in early 1900s,
Yeah.
where researchers tried to explain how electrons could be orbiting in an atom without giving off radiation, as classical physics predicted they should.
Yeah.
So this led to strange phenomena of non-radiating sources. So sources of light radiation that paradoxically do not give off radiation. And then over the next 100 years, non-radiating sources and other forms of invisibility kept being rediscovered.
Yeah.
And scientists like really struggled to find a use for them. So it was like, it was a solution in search of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like they have it, but they don't know what they
to do with it.
Yeah.
They're like, we have invisibility. Now, what the fuck do we use it for?
Yeah. This is invisibility. Okay. Yeah. So in the later years of the 20th century, invisibility became associated with inverse problems, in which, a cause is deduced from measurements of an effect. So those problems include modern imaging techniques such as MRIs and CAT scans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that. There are if you're looking for invisibility technology and articles about it, you're gonna find some, but there are multiple studies being done, and if you want to read more about that, there's an article called "The Invisible Man Isn't Real, but the Invisibility Technology Is," from the Smithsonian Magazine.
Yeah.
And there's even one from Sci-Fi called "The Invisible Man Tech is Sort of Within Sight," and they go into much detail about because like you said,
it's very possible.
It is you don't really think it might be, but
It is.
and it's the fact that people are actually researching it, and it's as if these movies don't really teach anybody about the effects of how damaging this technology can be.
Yep.
Kind of like Jurassic Park. Just because a movie has been made about. This isn't even the worst thing you could
You
use this
never stop
technology
to think
for.
if you should.
Yeah, no. And this isn't even the worst thing that this technology could be used for. Think about it in like sense of war.
Hi, hello, the military. If there's any new invention that could up the military's capabilities on any level, they're going to go for it.
Yep.
And are you fucking kidding me with invisibility? Are you shitting me?
Literally.
If they had access, it's over.
Over.
They want it. It's how it works. That's like, and they're always testing that shit.
Yep.
Always.
And you know for a damn fact that they're probably trying to figure out how to bring dinosaurs back because they're stupid. Like,
I'd be okay with dinosaurs.
tiny ones. Let's keep them to the lizards.
Yeah. But make them vegetarians.
Vegetarians? Oh, yeah, just bring back like the...
Well, no, I'm okay with like a raptor, but like a raptor that's been spliced with like the long necks, because then they're vegetarians. And well,
all I asked for is a
technically,
triceratops.
technically all cat owners have raptors. But
I was just going to say, I was like, mix
so,
it with some cat.
Yeah. Just make a raptor cat. Just make it like, you know, not a compy, because compies are dickheads.
But here's the thing.
I want a raptor that's like a cat.
You're thinking you want a raptor because you've seen Jurassic Park, is what I'm saying. I don't think you'd want a real fucking raptor.
Actually, real raptors are like only like really like 2 or 3 feet tall.
Yeah, I know. But why? Just go get a cat.
I know.
Like, just have a cat.
I know.
They're so cute and cuddly and
Our
little
raptors
fluffy
already.
babies. Yeah.
They make all the clicking noises,
They
so you know.
they do. My cat will literally meow at me forever until I give her attention.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
And she nibbles on me and she,
you know.
she got fangs and claws just like a raptor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all the science stuff I got.
Yeah.
Now, for the moment I've been fucking waiting for.
Okay.
This 1 star.
Oh shit! So that's the end of your notes. Now you're at 1 stars.
Uh-huh.
How many 1 stars you got here?
I just put 1.
Oh, you put 1, but clearly it is Chef's Kiss 1 star.
Oh. No. I'm not going to give it the satisfaction. And once I start
Like
reading
Chef's Kiss on the shit value.
yes.
Okay.
Chef's kiss on the what the fuck were you why didn't you think before you typed?
You know, that's a good fucking question for most people. That's a good question for most people.
Like, I didn't even read all of it because I got
why
halfway
type
through
if
and I
you're
was
just
like,
going to vomit bullshit? Anyway, proceed
here we go.
into the chaos.
Ahem. Many others have elaborated on the myriad of plot holes and the incomprehensible actions of the characters in this ridiculous mess of a movie.
Already a wordy dickhead. Gotcha.
But the one implausible failing is the characterization of the protagonist.
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth Moss is not, by any stretch of the imagination, anyone's idea of what a trophy wife looks like.
Oh, now you're just sexist.
And as the film progresses, it becomes apparent that her personality is as pleasant as biting down on a piece of aluminum foil. Yet, we are to believe that the young, handsome, and brilliant billionaire is so obsessed with her that he fakes suicide so that he can pursue her?
Yeah, that's what psychopaths do when they have an obsession with someone.
I can only summarize that perhaps the audience was to regard Cecilia as some sort of evil genius and that she engineered the whole chain of events so that she could attain wealth and power with the invisibility suit. Or is it just me? #MeToo/Handmaid's Tale propaganda from Hollywood. That seems more plausible, at least more plausible than the plot of the movie.
You're just stupid. For real. Like, making it about her physical appearance is fucking stupid.
That.
A person's
Like, how
obsession
would
is
you-
a person's obsession.
Like, okay.
Clearly, you've never actually been stalked by someone.
Also, I want to say, She's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
First of all, the entire movie, she's literally just crying and upset and going through PTSD. What do you think she's looking like? Like,
It's also not even just that. Like, you're commenting about her personality, but the truth of the matter is we don't really fully get to see it because she's literally being pursued and terrorized by her psychopath.
No. By this young, handsome, and brilliant billionaire.
We see what you want.
That.
You would want to be in this? No, the fuck you wouldn't. Not when you're actually in the situation.
When in reality, I know that he's just literally saying it because she's not like stick thin. And she's what the majority of the fucking population
Stupid.
look like.
But it's not even just that. It's also just the idea of like making a comment again. Like it's the personality thing. Like I was saying, it's
you don't
she's
get to
going
see it.
through trauma.
That's what I mean. She looks like
You
a fucking
barely
mess
get to
and is
see
a
it.
fucking mess through the entire film. The only time you get to see even a little bit of like
Who she is as a person,
is when she's around James and Sydney.
and when she gives Sydney like tuition for college and gets her into her favorite
That's so
college.
fucking nice of her.
That's such a beautiful thing to do.
Such a beautiful moment.
And
like,
they were
the way,
also fucking excited.
and the way they were joking around and like having fun and just
like her happiest moment for her to do is to solidify this girl's future.
yeah.
But her personality,
But her personality,
absolute.
because she is just an
Stupid.
evil genius and
Yeah, in the end of the movie, yeah,
pulled
she's
a
a
1-2.
fucking genius.
yeah.
At the end of this movie, she's a fucking genius because she gets rid of her abuser in the smartest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
With literally no way of being able to trace it back. So,
Yep.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Maybe pay attention to the movie and the plot.
No, because
Instead of someone's personal
No,
appearance.
yeah, because literally that's the second they saw her, that was their first thought, and they didn't want to change it.
Because remember, eye of the beholder. In his mentality, she was it.
Yeah.
And she was it whether she wanted it or not. So, yeah. Alrighty.
And you can't tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what this person looks like, but personally, I've dated some ugly people. And in my eyes, they were the most beautiful, like amazing person when I was with them.
Yeah.
They were just, there was no one else.
Yeah.
Because when I'm with somebody, there is no one else. Like it's just them. Obviously, I've changed my viewpoints after, things have happened.
Yeah, because I'm
And I'm
shocked
able
that
to
one
wake up.
happened because he was fugly as shit.
Okay, all right.
The first one made sense. The second one did not.
My standards were lower. It's
fucking dirt low, but yes.
And I thought he was the only one who could love me. I've changed that viewpoint now. But when we were together, I really did think that he was like he was it. Like he was so attractive to me, and like I really cared about him, and
It's how shit works.
It's
Because
how
again,
it works.
eye of the beholder.
I have the beholder. And then when I left, and everybody was like, "Girl,"
The fuck were you thinking?
yeah, and I was like, "You're right." I don't know if I could say this on the podcast. Okay, I showed somebody a picture.
You're gonna be like, who the fuck is that dweeb?
Oh, you don't. Okay. So I was telling this story to one of my friends, like the story of, our relationship. And she's like, okay, I gotta have a picture of this man. So I showed her.
Did she read you to filth for it?
Oh no, her next sentence was, Lily, when the fuck was that inside of you?
I agree.
And I literally fell to the floor. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't know. I blocked it out.
Yeah.
Thanks. What is such an out of pocket thing to say?
So
but
out
it
of
just
pocket, but-
I think that's what really clicked into my brain, where it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this man is really not it.
No.
Like at all.
Never was.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
He got you real low.
Yeah. It's
That was
true.
not good.
It's true.
Oof. Alrighty.
Anyway,
Our
to my women and to my, to all people,
yes.
to all people who are in a toxic, abusive, manipulative relationship,
Yes.
you can do better. And there are people you can go to and reach out to help you in these situations.
There is 1000% always, and I mean it, always someone you can talk to.
Even if you don't fucking know them.
If you right now say, well, that's a lie for my situation. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It is 100% fact. You can talk to a fucking random stranger on the fucking street if you so need to.
Yeah.
Whether they are a someone you know or someone you do not, you can speak to anyone for aid.
You can call someone as well. There
Exactly.
are lots of numbers. But I will say, speaking from experience, when I literally sat there and was like, there is absolutely no one, because I felt so isolated and I felt so alone because this person had made me feel like they were it for me, and there was no one else who was going to understand, and there was no one else who was going to be there for me.
Which is frustrating for us who are on the outside, who are desperately trying to say we are here
Yeah.
and not being believed.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough.
Especially when you have people who can fucking see it. When you have people who can see it and are saying to you, dude, you need to get out.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to them, because you can. With that person's help, trust me, you can get out.
I will also say, though, that it does take, no matter who's speaking to you about leaving that situation, you're not going to want to do it until you yourself are ready.
Yeah. Which,
That's just how it is, because you get so used to that routine of just abuse and manipulation, and that's all you know, and that's where you get comfortable.
but really do try to avoid letting it linger, because shit can get worse.
Just avoid the second you fucking see.
The second someone says, that's fucking weird, or why do they do that? Or that's creepy that they do that. Or why do you let them do that?
Yeah.
Or why did
obviously-
you let them do that?
Yeah.
On any level.
All situations are different, but, be careful. Look out for those red flags. I'm so serious. Don't go looking for a Tom fucking Riddle, because why would you want that?
Like, listen to some of the things that the people around you, like, they're trying to be gentle with you, but they're also trying to be like, hey, there's some weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, take it with caution, because sometimes some people are just assholes. But do try to at least, like, if someone is coming to you with a sincerity, or at least on a level of sincerity, being like, hey, that's weird. I don't know why you let him do that. Or I don't know why you let her do that.
Yeah.
Or since when did you start doing this? And it's like, oh, because of this.
Oh, stop. You are...
Please, like, understand, if someone starts to notice the things that are happening to you, be aware that everyone can fucking see it.
And I will say, it doesn't always feel that bad when you're in it until it gets that bad.
No, because the cycle is too consistent. It's when the cycle starts to spread farther, when the good spots are less
and
frequent.
less. Yeah.
Because they
You
never
keep
existed
wanting-
to begin with.
Well,
Because they never existed fully to begin with, because
They
it was based
existed,
on
but
their
it
terms.
wasn't the truth of who they are.
Yeah, because it was based on their terms. The happiness was based on their terms, not both of
True.
you.
And then you keep trying to go back to those moments that...
And that's
We're
the only
happy.
reason why you think you can stay.
Yeah, because
is
the
there's
good
a
moments are
chance.
so fucking good, and there's a chance that you can go back to that.
Well,
and
that's also
then-
called love bombing. That's
Yeah.
to convince you to stay.
Yep. Get
Get
this is
the
a therapy
fuck
session.
out.
This is a real therapy session.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out smartly, in a public place, with people around,
Yeah.
with people you know, in a public place. Never go to their fucking house.
Yeah, because-
by yourself, alone. Can you hear me screaming at someone?
Who would possibly ever do
Make that mistake and put themselves in that much danger.
Oh yeah, girl. It's bad.
Anyway,
I'm good. I'm
For real.
fine. It was years ago.
Yeah.
I'm literally okay.
For
guys. Not everyone is though, so be on the lookout.
reach out, man.
Seriously.
And also, there's also, like we've mentioned it, I think before on this podcast, that there have been people who have been at like a Starbucks and a barista will come over and give them a drink, be like, oh, sorry, we totally forgot to give you this drink. And on the drink, it will say like, take the lid off or something like that.
Yep,
like
yep,
if
yep.
you're trying to get rid of someone that's at the table or for the cops to be called or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you like, there are people who are willing and wanting to help.
For sure.
So, all right.
Anyway, we yapped on a lot.
A lot.
I maybe overshared a little.
It's okay. You overshared in a vague way, so.
That's true. And also, whoever might need to hear that,
Good.
if you feel like you are the only person who's gone through something, I will say I'm out. I'm happy.
Safe.
I'm safe. I am surrounded by people that I love again.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
It does end. You're good.
Yes. You
will
can
be
get
okay.
out.
You can.
There are people who would do anything to keep you safe. So, reach the fuck out.
Yep.
No matter what that person tries to convince you that they're not there, it's a lie. That's just a way to isolate you. And if you think I'm joking, fucking I dare you. Reach out. I dare you to reach out. I triple dog
You
dare
won't.
you to reach out.
You won't.
I dare you. I dare you to reach out.
But seriously, to anybody going through something like that, you are loved. You are seen.
Yep.
And
Never be afraid to get help. Never.
never. That got deep.
Anyway.
That got real deep. Reach out to fucking us. Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Email us.
Yeah. Email us at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. But firstly, post that point. Our next week's episode is The Sixth Sense.
If you didn't catch that little
If you didn't catch
tidbit
that
earlier.
tidbit earlier, fucking stop it.
What did I do? I was saying it first.
That's my job.
Oh, because you're older, it's whatever you say first, then I'm automatically
and also
copying.
the fucking way this podcast has been going since, I don't know, over a year. Anyway, like we said, send us an email. And send us recommendations of different movies that you'd like us to check out at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at horrorunmasked. And look, I know our social medias are not fabulous right now. We're working on it. So, fingies crossed. So, check us out there. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, 5 stars, hearts, thumbs up, all of the stuff. It really helps us. Comment, all that.
Yeah.
And on those places you can push us, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, and YouTube at Horror Unmasked Podcast. And I think with that,
There's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
or will you fear not?